As a firearm enthusiast and amateur gunsmith, I'm a member on a forum where a lot of people will show their home builds or their scrap builds or whatever, where they just assemble firearms out of random fuck shit they find in their garage. And today we're going to look at some of the most amazingly fucked up firearm builds I was able to find. If you guys get any enjoyment out of this, be sure to click that like and subscribe button so you can stay tuned for more videos just like this. What in the cousin fucking Florida Bama Miss Betty White bullshit do we got going on here? Looks like Hack Sparrow over here was trying to get himself some booty, rigging up a, what almost looks to be a homemade flintlock, although it's not, with a scope on top and a fucking bayonet. I mean, that gun is purely made out of, just recycled wood from my man's garage. I don't know why you're slapping a bayonet on a pistol, because basically just punching them, whereas two-handed, you got a little more behind it, but that's neither here nor there. The angle of that blade to the barrel looks almost as if the second you pull that trigger, that bullet is going to bounce and deflect off of the blade. Now, I could be wrong, could just be the angle of the picture, but just basing it off of what I'm looking at. As you can see, the hammer and the trigger combination is being concocted and held in place by two external springs on the outside of the gun. That's a little interesting. Not sure how far he's intending on that gun to shoot, considering he put an optic on it that's meant for medium to long range distance. And again, I'm not entirely sure where that bullet's even gonna go, because I feel like no matter where you put the crosshairs, that bullet's gonna ricochet off that blade and go flying up. So might as well just close your eyes and fire, because it's going wherever it wants to. Good work, pal. This next one we're gonna call the AR 2x4. It almost looks as if he knew he was gonna get denied if he went to buy a serialized lower, but said, hey, fuck it, I have a 2x4 in the garage, let's make it happen. Attaching clearly an AR receiver, which I can only imagine is also an AR barrel, less the hand grip on the front, foregrip if you will, and decided to slap an AK rear grip on it for whatever reason. Now theoretically, would this work? Probably. It's just housing the trigger group and the mag well, but would I want to be the one to test fire that?
Fuck no.
I personally am not a big fan of splinters, and I have a feeling if that bad boy were to happen to fire out a battery, that could make for a bad day. But hey, I'll give you props for the ingenuity, I guess. Let me know how that works out. But hey, I guess you can technically say you have an AR 2x4 and I don't. Congratulations. Next up, we got the Sten Suomi Tech 9 build, I guess. This kind of looks like my man took a Sten lower, slapped a Schedule 80 black iron pipe up on top, welded on a fucking Tech 9 barrel trunnion and a barrel, and called it a day. Not entirely sure what he was going with in terms of that rear grip. I don't know if he's planning on adding plastics on the sides or wood or what, but kind of looks a little unfinished, obviously. Put a paint job on it, might look a little better, but still different, to say the least. Boy, oh boy, and I said the last one was Schedule 80 black iron pipe. Good God.
You got to be fucking shitting me!
My man actually has the cap of a Schedule 80 black iron pipe on the end of that gun. He didn't even go as far as to grind or file down any of the castings of that plug. It looks like he straight up took it off the shelf of Home Depot, slapped it on the gun, and went, now we're good. This almost looks as if you crossed a Sten, a grease gun, and a Tech 9 all into one. Yeah, functionality-wise, it might work. I don't know what he did on the inside, but I'll be damned if that thing ain't fucking hideous.
He is hideous.
I genuinely have no idea what I'm looking at.
What the fuck is that thing?
It looks like the handle and the, I guess the receiver are all one piece connected. Interesting build. Almost looks as if the, I guess firing pin maybe? I don't even know what that is, hanging out the back of the gun. I think my favorite part of this is that charging handle underneath. If you're familiar with firearms, a lot of times when you're firing, the charging handle moves with the bolt. Now, I'm not a rocket scientist here, but something tells me when that thing is right here next to your finger and it starts reciprocating, that thing is gonna mangle your dick beaters the whole time it's firing away. Now, this thing doesn't have a magazine, I will give him that, so chances are it's a single shot. But if he designed that thing to be semi-auto, you can kiss them digits goodbye, because that thing is going to beat the piss out of them. Not entirely sure what's going on with that washer sitting above. Go ahead and chalk that up to spare parts, I guess. Happy to see we do have a front sight, but the rear sight seems to be non-existent, so that's interesting. Come to think of it, that might not be the charging handle. I guess that could theoretically be the trigger, which I'm confused if it is. Honestly, I'm just confused either way. I guess in like a life or death situation, maybe I'd be willing to risk it working, but for the most part, you probably wouldn't catch me dead shooting that thing. I'd be 30 yards away with a string, pulling that bad boy to fire it.
Ain't happening.
But again, I'll give props to my man. For whatever fucking reason, apparently people love these Sten Tech 9 fucking grease gun looking builds. And hey, to each their own, but come on, man. Not entirely sure what that lower came off of. Might have been a home build. The upper looks like Schedule 80 pipe that he probably welded together. And it looks as if there's probably no way to get that bolt out of there. But again, just basing it off a picture, I can't guarantee that 100%. That charging handle could either be a duplex nail or a Tech 9 charging handle. Kind of hard to tell because they look pretty similar. That's a beautiful weld job on that mag well. Gonna have to grind that bad boy down and throw some paint on her. Again, not sure what he's trying to do with that rear grip. He might just be leaving it as is, calling it artistic and aesthetically pleasing. But again, I would love to see a lot of these builds in action and see if they actually even fire. And as with the others, good work, bud. Wow, okay, hold on. We might have something here, guys. This is actually a half decent build. Now, I'm not 100% sure what I'm looking at because the brightness isn't great on this picture. Looks almost like we have a PPS 43 lower with maybe a Sten upper, but with an extended barrel so that he could put a stock on it and not have to SBR it. That stock looks like it was probably homemade in the garage. Does look a little bit like an AK, what would be like a side folder, but I have a feeling that that's not actually a side folder. It's actually not too bad of a build. I mean, the stock could be a little more aesthetically pleasing, maybe put a faux suppressor on the end to kind of cover that long ass barrel hanging out. Maybe throw a vertical foregrip on there, get yourself a nice good grip. I don't know, just some ideas. His build, his world, I'm living in it. And this time I actually mean it. Good work, bud. Now this last one, this has got me f***ing confused. Looks half decent, but break it down. So we got what appears to be maybe like a Tommy gun 50 round drum on that bad boy. Looks like we got the fore end of I guess an AR-15. We got the upper receiver of maybe a Sten. I can't really tell. Just a tube, and a tube's a tube, and a lot of guns look like tubes. Now I can't see exactly what's on the end of the stock because he did cut it off, but clearly it's got a stock on it. Be cool if it were a side folder. Probably not, but hey, his design, his build. In terms of the lower, can't really make out what that is. Doesn't look like a standard AR lower. Could be something homemade, custom made. He might have taken it from another gun. Either way, actually a half decent build, just like the last one. My man even went as far as to put an optic on it that isn't a rifle scope on a homemade black powder pistol rifle thing. So good work there, bud. That thing's actually pretty unique and cool. A lot of these guys have a lot of unique and cool builds that you could tell they put a lot of work into the design and actually creating it. And others, as Tom Segura says, you have to question, do you drive yourself to work or does somebody drop you off? Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said in the beginning, be sure to click that like and subscribe button so you can stay tuned for more videos just like this. And as always, until next time, stay safe.